Great to be in a regional again. Congratulations to the 3 other teams. It's not easy to get to a regional. I know that there's teams that do it a lot, seem to do it every year, but you still have to fight your way through it. Everybody has a different road. And, I feel good where we are right now and really glad to be at home.
Questions for the student athletes?
Logan, Zach, you guys 2 transfers here now. I mean, just how excited is it that you've gotten to this point? I know we've been building up to this season, but as kind of 2 guys new to the program, the excitement level of a Fayetteville Regional this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. I mean, I've been to a couple regionals in the past, one away and hosted one, but I mean, I've been to, the Texas series is probably the closest thing that I could compare a regional to, and it's going to be a lot better than that. So I'm really excited to see all the fans out there this weekend.
Yeah, super excited. We're all super pumped to kind of get this thing going, and super excited to play in front of all these fans this weekend.
Will, you're obviously the inverse of that.
I'm curious, are there any ways where this year entering a regional maybe feels different than the past 2?
Yeah, definitely. This team feels really complete in every aspect of the game, and we've played a bunch of tough games, especially towards the end of the stretch. So I feel like we're just a battle-hardened team ready to go after it.
Will, being here, last year and the last couple of years, you've obviously been in Omaha, but is there any added pressure knowing how the last 2 seasons have ended for you or any of the guys that were here last year?
I mean, maybe a little, but I think we're just focused. We're going to take this one game at a time and get after it, and not let we're going to attack the game.
And Zach, we obviously don't know when you're going to pitch yet. Dave hasn't told us. I'm curious, just when you do pitch, what's kind of the approach, and what's the last week been like since your outing in Hoover?
Yeah, it's just preparing like it's any other week. I mean, the only game that matters is the game against North Dakota State.
I guess, Logan, you've kind of battled hamstrings, throughout the entire year. Just kind of where you at on that, and kind of how are you feeling going into the regional?
I feel really good, mentally really good, body physically really good, and I'm just ready to get after it.
Will, you had that outing against Tennessee, one and done in Hoover. Just kind of what's your mindset going into what is probably going to be your last postseason?
Just leave it all out there. Pretty fresh. Hadn't pitched since then, and I feel like everybody's pretty fresh. We've gotten some time off and just ready to get after it.
Logan, you were on the TCU team that came here a couple years ago. What was it like coming into this atmosphere at that time?
Yeah, kind of coming in here my sophomore year, playing the first game here and experiencing what it's like to play at Baum. I was kind of in awe, and I was like, I wanted to play here one day. So as soon as I entered the portal, this was for sure a top spot. And then in playing in front of all these fans, it's electric and it's awesome. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Your team and then Kansas State and Southeast Missouri came in here and won the regionals the last couple of years. Are you hearing that in the locker room about we need to break that trend?
No, we're just going to take it one game at a time and play our brand of baseball.
Yeah, I guess for any of you, what's the team's mindset going into this? Glad you got the longer rest, maybe a little restless to play, maybe a little bit of both?
Yeah, we're obviously restless to play. We want it to be tomorrow. I mean, now, we really want to get on the field, but I mean, we're not looking ahead to the winner's bracket or trying to win the regional. We're just trying to go out there and beat North Dakota State and then move on from there.
Dave, were you going to announce your starting pitcher with us for Friday? Here in a little bit.
Are we still talking to the players, or am I?
Well,
I'm waiting until you get done. You just want to talk to somebody that's sitting in here.
There's a scout report on that. What have y'all seen from the North Dakota State hitting lineup, the 2 pitchers, please?
We haven't gone over them yet. I think we're going to after we're done here.
All right. The mentality you feel like North Dakota State might be bringing into this game, that kind of nothing to lose type mentality. How would you address that?
Yeah, I mean, Arkansas is a team to beat, and everyone wants to come here and beat us on our home field, and that doesn't change with North Dakota State.
For any of you guys, I mean, North Dakota State's a team that y'all don't probably see very often. I'm curious, whenever the bracket is announced, are y'all looking them up on your phones, or are you waiting until the meetings with the scouting reports and stuff like that?
I mean, I pay attention for every team throughout the whole year. I'm looking at my phone, seeing scores around the league and NCAA in general, and I've seen that they've played a lot of big road games. I saw that they went to LSU and some other big schools, so that's going to be a team that's pretty road tested. So you got to take them serious.
Thanks, guys. All right, questions for Coach Van Horn.
Dave, could you announce?
Yeah.
Who the pitcher will be tomorrow?
The starting pitcher will be Aiden Jimenez.
And obviously that's raises eyebrows, or just like, what's the logic there?
That was our game plan all along. And, he didn't throw in Hoover, which was okay. Got a chance to get some more rest, Strike thrower. Tough. You got to know him. I know they're going to hit about 7 lefties in their lineup. It's not a lot of power. It's guys that hit the ball through the middle the other way and trying to win the regional. Bottom line, he's a good pitcher. I mean, think about it. He's the guy we give him the ball to when the game's on the line everywhere. 6th, 7th inning, Friday night, Baton Rouge, whatever. That's the only game out of the bullpen it didn't work out. He's gotten one start, didn't go great, but I got to give the team that we were playing a lot of credit for that one.
And the depth of your pitching, you feel like for this regional, how suited are you to have enough arms?
Yeah, we have enough. Our bullpen's done a great job all year. If you look at the numbers, we're like any team in the country. If you get to a situation where you got to get to Monday, everybody starts to thin out. But for the most part, everybody's got 3 starters and a bullpen, and you hope you play well. Hope you field the ball well. You don't make your starting pitcher throw more pitches than they need to. In a perfect world, you score runs, but you never know how it's going to go. And we've been talking about that all week. And you just got to go play. You can dive into the other team as much as you want and dissect it. Bottom line, we need to play good. If we do what we do, we'll have a chance to win. If we don't, we won't.
With Jimenez, when you started him against Tennessee, did you do that with the intent looking ahead to this moment?
Yeah, looking ahead to postseason. And, like I said, it didn't go great, but if we'd have won a couple of games out there at the conference tournament and we didn't, he would have probably got a start if there was a third day, if we hadn't used him yet. And now we're here and, we got them all rested. You look at the numbers, South Dakota State, they're hitting within 10 points against right and left's about the same. He's just the guy that we felt like we could go with game 1.
Yeah, I mean, ever since the beginning of the season, you felt really good about him, whether it be out of the bullpen or whatever. Did you kind of have an inkling like, hey, this is a guy who can maybe evolve into a starter?
Yes. Yeah, we were hoping that all along. We didn't think he would progress this far with the arm surgery he had last year. It's been, 15, 16 months now, somewhere in there. We hope that he comes back next year because he's draft eligible. If he does, we feel like he'll be a starter for us.
They've done a lot of games in the last 2 weeks. How have you kept the team in a routine?
Yeah, we've tried to be on top of that as much as we can. We're out of school. The guys kind of hang around anyway. We got a bunch of what I call gym rats. They like to be here. When they're not in there, they're over there fishing in that pond and having a good old time. And I love to see that. We've talked about rest. We've talked about trying to stay sharp. But really now, and I've said it 10 times, you have to want to be here. You have to not worry about all the other things. Things that are coming up down the road, because they're coming, but they're down the road. Now is now. And, I don't feel like it went that way the last couple of years. Mines were a little bit drifting here and there.
Is the plan to pitch that game 2, or do you wait to see what the matchup's like?
Yeah, probably wait and see. I feel like, between Wood and Root, they're both really good pitchers. Zach's had obviously a lot more experience this year just because of Wood's, injury, but he's bounced back and I think he feels better than ever. I mean, his stuff is electric. So it could go either way. You got, Kansas is a good mix. Creighton's a good mix. Win or lose, you're going to play one of them. So we'll just wait and see what happens tomorrow night.
Yeah, hi Dave. I guess who would be some of the plausible names to follow Jimenez?
All of them. I mean, anybody we need, depending on the situation. I mean, if it's tight or a tough situation, we could bring in Gackle. We can. I don't know. I mean, all of them. Just what we do. We're going to try to win the game. If we had a good lead or we're way down, then we'll do what we need to do. But I don't plan on that. I plan on it being a really good game, and a lot of decisions will have to be made, and all hands on deck. That's what we've told them.
And then with a lot of new guys in the lineup and also a lot of new guys in the rotation as well. I mean, how do you approach the topic of the history of getting out of a regional? I mean,
well, it's really just been the last couple of years. And bottom line, I mean, it's a fact. This team's a lot better than last year's team and the year before. We're better.
Yeah, is there an approximate number of pitches or innings you kind of have in mind you'd like to see from Jimenez?
Obviously, we would like him to go as many as he can. The pitch count obviously would be an issue as well, but I mean, he can go 80, 90, and if that doesn't happen, we just want him to give us his best when he's in there and not hold anything back, and that's what we're hoping that happens.
I guess, are there things as a staff that you can take from the past 2 years and, bring into this year and maybe do differently, or is it just kind of one of those things?
There's always, if you're not learning, you're going the other way. So you got to learn from your mistakes. You got to learn from experience, and there's nothing more. I don't think you can learn any more without it. The experience is the way you get it. You learn by, hey, that happened. This guy did that. Like I always say, they kind of tell us where to hit them in the order after a while. We just see what we see. And, as far as what's gone down the last couple of years is, last year we walked people and we got in trouble game one. You get a big lead, you're up 8-1, and you're in the fifth inning. So I guess you can probably figure I still remember it. And then your pitcher goes out and walks like the base is loaded, and we just punched in 5 runs. And next thing you know, it's 8-8. And we're using our better bullpen arms on Friday, which is okay if the game's tight, but we should have blown that game out. And we got to use Gackle for who knows how many innings, and so he's going to be a little bit tired the rest of the weekend, and we end up scoring the next 8 runs. But we'd already used a couple guys before we got that game. And what you do today is going to affect tomorrow and the next day, and it really did. So, hopefully our guys will go out and pitch well. Hopefully we'll field well. We didn't field well in the first inning the other day against Ole Miss, and it cost us the game. And, they didn't score the rest of the game. We scored in the bottom of that inning and the bottom of the second. So, I mean, there's a lot to learn, and, hopefully, cut that off at the pass pretty much. If something like that happens again, we're deeper in our bullpen than we were last year. We won't wait quite as long.
North Dakota State, Coach Oaks, his dad was, at Minnesota for a long time. Back to your Big Ten days, any relationship there? Do you know him at all?
No, I don't know him real well. I know he's done a tremendous job there. I think he played there, coached there, assistant. I'm not sure exactly, but I respect everything he's doing. I coached in the North at Nebraska. You spend 90% of your time inside when you get back from the holidays, and then you go on the road and you play and you lose, and then you win one, you lose 2, you lose. It's tough. And but what you do is you bond as a team and you get better and you get tougher, and that's exactly what I feel that we're getting into tomorrow, is a team that is confident that they can win in this environment because of playing at Alabama, LSU, DBU, Tulane, those type of schools, Minnesota. They're not scared. Now, that's why I keep telling our team it's all about how we play. It's about what we do. They're going to do what they do. We need to stop it, and then we need to do what we can do.
What have you seen from? I know they haven't announced a starter, but Nolan Johnson, their lefty pitcher. I mean, it seems like he's gotten a lot better as the season's worn on.
Yeah, he's really good. Good changeup. Lefties hit him a little bit better if you look at the batting average against, and that's usually because it slows the changeup down a little bit. So obviously we got to hit the fastball when we get the opportunity, but we can't chase his changeup, and there might be some counts we need to maybe sit on it a little bit. And we've done a pretty good job with lefties with a changeup this year. You never know when that's going to change. Some guys just have one that kind of as they say, the old Bugs Bunny changeup. It's hard to hit. It just dances around. And those of you that are our age have seen the cartoon when the ball just kind of stops and then it moves. Yeah. Anyway, so half of you don't know, but I'm not saying he's got that one, but he's got good stuff and he competes. And the other thing is he's pretty tough. I mean, if you throw 119 pitches on a Wednesday and you come back on Saturday and you start the game to get here, winner take all against Oral Roberts on 2 days rest, I think, and he threw 40-some pitches, then you got a serious desire to win. You're looking out for the team more than yourself, and I'm sure that his players play really hard behind him.
Coach, is there anything else about North Dakota State that has stood out when you've been looking at film and everything?
Yeah. Maybe a few things, a couple things that I don't want to mention that we've noticed, but just that they just play, and they seem to play free, and they lost a lot of games early, and they learned how to handle losing a little bit, and they like winning, and they fought to win, and they fought to get here. So it's going to definitely be a game that I don't think anybody's going to be backing down.
Hey, Coach. These two teams, Arkansas and North Dakota State, don't meet very often. The last time you were a player here, do you remember those games at all against North Dakota State?
Yeah, my wife pointed it out to me last night. She shows me her phone and says, "You're in the lineup." And I said, "Oh, we probably played them over spring break when I had a fractured ankle, or not ankle, a heel. We used to play on this AstroTurf up there where the parking garage is. And it's the parking garage / football practice field. And the turf had a pad under it and asphalt. Well, there wasn't much pad. Long story short, I had a little crack in my heel. And we played 2 games a day against teams from like Division II teams. We played Ozark. We played whoever. And I remember I wasn't playing much, and I was thinking, man, everybody's really jacking their average up right now. I got to try to catch back up. But when she showed it to me, it had me DHing. And I'm like, I never DH. I played second base every day, it seemed like, when I was healthy. So I think might have been just coming off of that. And I looked at the scores, and I looked at who pitched. It was a good memory. But, yeah, I don't remember anything about it, to be honest with you.
Dave, one of those box scores lists you as having a triple. So if you had a cracked heel,
I was limping around probably. I did most of my damage in league play. Look it up. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I remember that week because nobody was at school back then, and here we are playing 2 games a day and eating lunch, if you call it lunch, at the field between games. It was different times back then. Coach Bryan did a great job.